what I really wanted to do is have like these gentlemen, his family, like people who worked with him. There's something different about a storyteller who has known a person, you know, intimately, and that they can really kind of help you, because what you want to do is understand, where does this come from, and I think a lot of people think if you're a singer, you just kind of open your mouth and that happens. And like that is not the case. There's so much work that goes into making it look effortless. And I wanted to like let these gentlemen and Robin and Carlos and I wanted them to help us understand what we were seeing. And then the last thing I'll say about that is I'm not a musician. And so music seems like alchemy to me. Like how does it come from your brain out into the world? And so one of the things that they help us do is understand that, there's still some magic to it, but I hope we understand it a little bit more.
I love that. Marcus, just to close it out, I know you collaborated with him on a lot of his songs, and Luther was mostly known for doing remakes of a lot of really famous songs, most of them Carpenter's songs, which was actually kind of funny to me. Can you speak to how you guys collaborated to come up with those very unique arrangements of those songs?
Well, there are a couple of elements. One is that Luther loved music and he loved old songs. And he was a genius at picking older songs that had been done already that had nothing to do with his style of music, but transforming it into something where you couldn't imagine him not singing. I mean, how many how many artists do you know who will do somebody else's song, and then as time goes by, the majority of people in the world know the remake better than they know the original song, right?
Right.
You mentioned the Carpenters. He did songs by Dionne Warwick. He did
A
songs by
house is not a home. Yes.
Not a Home. He did Donny Hathaway songs. He did Stevie Wonder songs. Creep, 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 creep. So I don't know how he did it, but he just knew his voice. He knew how he could transform stuff. The other element is uh, the guy who played piano for him since they were teenagers, Nat Adderley Jr. And Nat Adderley Jr. is Cannonball Adderley's nephew. You heard of Cannonball Adderley?
Oh, yes. I'm old enough to remember Cannonball Adderley. I may not look it,
No, no, I would
but
have never guessed. Uh, but Luther would say, Nat, I have an idea for this song, and this is how I like to do it. And Nat was just, a lot of singers have their accompaniment, their person who just knows their voice. And Nat was that guy for Luther. And together they would come up with some magic, and Nat would arrange the strings, and then we come in the studio and say, okay, what are we doing now? What magic are we going to create now? I'll just tell you, you mentioned the Carpenters. By this time, by the time we recorded the Superstar,
superstar. Yeah.
by the time we recorded that, Luther was already big, right? So there was no question that everybody was going to get to hear this, right? So I'm sitting there playing the bass, and this is old school. This is no, the singer comes in 3 weeks after the music has been prepared and spends a week singing it. No, this is all of us in the studio with Luther in the booth right there singing along with us. And I'm saying to myself, Marcus, don't mess this up because you're going to be hearing this for the rest of your life as he's singing. As he's singing, I'm saying, okay, this is one time I know I was playing on a hit record that I was going to hear for the rest of my life. That's how magical he was. And there's a certain part towards the end of the song where you think it's going to end, and he dives into his famous Luther thing that where instead of ending, it goes into this thing where all the ladies in the audience start screaming.
Yes. We
And
know that part very well.
and he wanted us to keep it real simple, right?
Mm.
A bunch of jazz guys in the band. He didn't want us starting to play riffs and just ruining the mood. So what did he say? Keep it right there, keep it right there. He was telling us, play it easy, play it easy, keep it right there. He's talking to us. right?
Oh wow, that's some good intel. I did not know that.
You know what I'm saying? And then when they mixed it, I assumed, well, he's gonna turn his microphone off for the mix because he's just giving us instructions. It sounded
Uh-huh.
beautiful. It didn't sound the same without it. And that ended up being part of the record, right?
That is one of my favorite parts of the movie because we were, Marcus told us that story, and then we were able to cut to Luther saying, "Play it easy, keep it right there. Don't jazz this thing up," which I love.
Don't
And the
mess
other
up.
thing,
Yeah.
I love seeing this movie with an audience because so first of all, Marcus sets it up so beautifully. He was like, I know not to question you, but I got to see how this is going to work, So, and then like we found this gorgeous footage of Luther singing it. And literally, when you're watching it with the audience, everyone gets quiet. And
Mm.
then the whole song plays out. And then Marcus tells that end. And then we see Luther do that. And then we, boom, cut to just Luther doing it, which is to me like, it just is like a cherry on top, and people clap like they're at a concert. And this movie is so fun to watch with people and how they respond and they remember. And like, that's an artist, who could take that and honor the first song, completely honor it, but make it his own in this honorable way. So it was
Absolutely.
a
I mean,
joy.
I was there. I was singing and clapping right along with them. I remember it was amazing. I just want to close it out with one last thing with Fonzie. Fonzie, what is the most prolific memory, or something that not memory? What is the funniest thing that ever happened with y'all on tour that you can remember? That when you think about it now, just makes you smile and crack all the way up.
Well, one time Luther was singing the national anthem at the Super Bowl in New Orleans. And, Luther grew up in my house. He knew my sisters and my mother, everybody knew him. So he invited me and my sister Pamela to go to New Orleans with him while he was doing the Super Bowl to sing the national anthem. And my oldest sister lived there also in New Orleans. So we're riding around in this limousine and we're going like to different grocery stores and stuff like that. And people keep knocking on the window, saying, Luther, Luther, give me a kiss, Luther, blah, 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 blah. And we're trying to figure out, how do people know that Luther is in this car when the windows are all tinted and stuff like that? Well, the man who's driving the car forgot to take the card out of the window that says Luther Vandross. So we're driving all through New Orleans with this sign, Luther Vandross, in these tinted windows, and women knocking on the door, Luther, I want a kiss. You know what I'm saying? When we get out of the car and go into the convenience store at the gas station, we see the placard in the window. So Luther gets back in the car saying, somebody's gonna be losing their job tonight. So that
That is hysterical.
man was the funniest man you ever wanted. I mean, come on, just amazing.
I love that. I think that is the perfect way for us to end, telling a wonderfully hysterical story about someone that we all love and thought we knew, but now we know even better thanks to Dawn. And this prolific, wonderfully wrapped up gift that is Luther. Never too much. Thank y'all so much. Thank you, Marcus. Thank you, Fonzie. And Dawn, I'll see you sooner than later.
I love you, Carla. Thank you so much. It's so great to see you.
I love you, Black. Great to see you too.
Caller.
All right, thanks, Carla.
Bye, y'all.